Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path so that everybody has some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the training from Archie's Academy we are focused on.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development so that, along with your college degree or previous experience, you also have experience in the market. At Archie's, we mentor you with hands-on training, live projects, and interactive online classes which not only skill you for the job in the future, but also upskill your already existing ones. With our add-on coaching for interview and communication skills, we make sure that you do what you say, and you say what you do. Our placement and support are extended to you even after your traineeship ends, so that the transition process is easy and you are fully prepared to code away. Be at Archie's. Code your future.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path so that everybody has some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the training.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development so that, along with your college degree or previous experience, you also have experience in the market. At Archie's, we mentor you with hands-on training, live projects, and interactive online classes which not only skill you for the job in the future, but also upskill your already existing ones. With our add-on coaching for interview and communication skills, we make sure that you do what you say, and you say what you do. Our placement and support are extended to you even after your traineeship ends, so that the transition process is easy and you are fully prepared to code away. Be at Archie's. Code your future.
This summer, the ultimate hackathon begins. Innovate, develop, pitch, and win, all from the comfort of your home. Join Endurance, a 2-day global virtual hackathon. Compete with some amazing and brilliant developers from around the world. Get access to industry leaders across the globe and learn from the best. Explore the various verticals within the software industry through workshops. Connect and network with global companies and universities. Challenge yourself to difficult problems to win great prizes worth more than $1,200 of training. Register today. Endurance. Code a way into your technologist's future.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The Academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path so that everybody has some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development so that, along with your college degree or previous experience, you also have experience in the market. At Archie's, we mentor you with hands-on training, live projects, and interactive online classes which not only skill you for the job in the future, but also upskill your already existing ones. With our add-on coaching for interview and communication skills, we make sure that you do what you say, and you say what you do. Our placement and support are extended to you even after your traineeship ends, so that the transition process is easy and you are fully prepared to code away. Be at Archie's. Code your future.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path so that everybody has some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the training from Archie's Academy we are focused on.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development so that, along with your college degree or previous experience, you also have experience in the market. At Archie's, we mentor you with hands-on training, live projects, and interactive online classes which not only skill you for the job in the future, but also upskill your already existing ones. With our add-on coaching for interview and communication skills, we make sure that you do what you say and you say what you do. Our placement and support are extended to you even after your traineeship ends, so that the transition process is easy and you are fully prepared to code away. Be at Archie's. Code your future.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The Academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path, so that everybody have some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the training.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development, so that, along with your college degree or previous experience, you also have experience in the market. At Archie's, we mentor you with hands-on training, live projects, and interactive online classes which not only skill you for the job in the future, but also upskill your already existing ones. With our add-on coaching for interview and communication skills, we make sure that you do what you say and you say what you do. Our placement and support are extended to you even after your traineeship ends, so that the transition process is easy and you are fully prepared to code away. Be at Archie's. Code your future.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Endurance. It's been 2 days of journey. We are commencing our next evening session. It was an eventful morning, which had we had with George, which has a design section. In the afternoon, after that, we had a DevOps section. Now the next 3 sections is really, really important ones. And today I want to introduce Amuthan. And he is, first of all, to start with the tech savvy in a lot of technologies, a data scientist, a person who has a lot of skills in Java and Java related technologies. And you can name it, any technologies if you're given, he knows what exactly need to be figured out. And more than that, one of my best friends. So I would like to introduce Amuthan to the stage and to bring his journey towards he has been going through in technologies and in his career, and to share some view which he would like to present with the community. I hope you guys will be enjoying, and I'll be here. And Amuthan, over to you. Good morning. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks, Thoufeeque. Thanks very much for the wonderful introduction. As Thoufeeque said, I have been in this industry. I've gone through many of the things even with Thoufeeque. He's one of my good friend of mine. So without further ado, let's jump into the talk. Or
please. I mean, it's a stage is yours, so you are going to run it. So right, cool. I'm more than happy to be here. So
okay,
go for it.
Cool. Yeah. Before proceeding, I would like to ensure that my audio and video is clear. Is it
perfect? Okay, it's absolutely perfect.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for this COVID virtual conferences. Really.
Right.
So let me share my screen. So everybody able to see my screen?
Absolutely.
Cool. So Great. So I would like to thank you for this opportunity first. So today's topic is going to be engineering mindset and why it matters. I would like to personally thank everybody listening here. I would like to try this talk as much interaction as possible. So please ask a question if you have end of this one. Okay. So before begin this talk, I would like to introduce myself. So about me is I'm a software architect and data science enthusiastic. I have more than 12 years of experience in building distributed computer applications, and I have authored some of the best-selling books in Java area, especially in enterprise application developments. And currently, I'm working on my next book for streaming analytics. Okay, so all these years of experience, one thing I learned in technology is managing machines are easy than managing people. You know why? Because when you're giving an instruction to a machine, it either obey to that instruction and executes it. Otherwise, it will spit it out on your face with some error message. Okay, there is only black and white. There is no gray area. But when it comes to people, when you give a request or instruction or whatever, you don't know whether they get it or is it like they totally get it, or are they going to do that one, or are they going to no, I have disagreement with that one. So in that kind of scenarios, more than technology, what you need is a kind of mindset. Especially in tech life, we are very good at machines. We were very good at talking to machine, but we are not that much good at with the people who experience in tech life. They know about this phenomenon very well. So that's the thing we are going to talk about today. So what we are going to talk about today is to excel in a software engineering career path. What are the kind of mindset you need? Okay, so that's the thing. If you have a right mindset, that will give you a much better mileage in your tech career. So imagine a situation. You have two resumes in your hand. Both are having in a language-wise, a skill-wise, or framework-wise, whatever they have gone through, the experience-wise, both are same. Literally on paper, they both are same. How do you choose one from other? Okay. Highly successful software developers cultivate critical behavior. That critical behavior is the mindset. Okay, that sets apart from the crowd. Okay, they you can easily recognize them. So, in order to recognize them, there are some kind of trait they have. So we are going to see such kind of 10 traits, 10 important mindsets or culture, whatever you call it. Okay, so we are going to look into those kind of mindset today, and we are going to talk about that one. So the first mindset, the very important, is conceiving the purpose of your code. For example, like if you don't understand the overall purpose of the business or overall purpose of the system, you don't able to give a very impactful code. For example, there is a popular story regarding purpose in a folk story. It goes like that. There were three brothers. Okay, they did some misbehavior, so the king asked them to plant 100 trees. And what happened is they divided their work. It's like, okay, I will dig the hole on the land, and the second person should put the seed, and the third person should close the hole with the sand. And everything goes fine on the first day. And what happened the next day, the second brother didn't show up, who needs to put the plant, the seed. So what happened? What happened means, like, these brothers, two brothers, continues their work without understanding what is the purpose of their doing it. So likewise, most of the time, if you don't understand what is the component you are serving, or your code, or whatever the component code you are developing is going to serve in an overall picture, you cannot give much you can deliver a software code that is more effective. Okay, so that's the very important thing. Like when you are when you're understanding the overall picture of the system or overall business, that will be helpful for you to translate business problems into technical specification, and vice versa. So the great developers speak business language. They can easily translate business problem into technical problem if they understand the overall picture. So that's the very first mindset you should have. It's not successful dev's responsibility is not to deliver to the repository. Actually, it is delivered to to the user. So the one thing you can think sometimes if you have some confusion, okay, like how can I make a good decision? It's a simple thumb rule. Always follow how can you help. Okay, that's the single purpose of all software. The purpose of all software is help people. Okay, so let's go on to the next mindset. Simplicity is the next important thing. There is a popular quote from Martin Fowler. You know Martin Fowler. Martin Fowler is a software evangelist who is an expert in software engineering, and he has written a lot of books. So he usually say that any fools can write good code that computer can understand, but good programmers write code that humans can understand. Because when you write code, what happens is like only 20% of thing is in the development area. Remaining 80% is in the maintenance space. So when the code goes to maintenance space, the guy who is maintaining should know about your code and understand your code. Then he can easily fix the bugs, and he can be more effective in his role. So the programming is an act of reducing the complexity. For example, if you write a one-liner code and would like to show how smart you are, that's not going to help you in the long run. If you even if you are writing a simple, readable implementation, that is very important over a clever but confusing code. Okay, so please avoid look at me kind of implementations. Okay. So the next one is discipline. A highly skilled software engineer without discipline is like a veteran sailor without a map. So he may be good at staring at it, but he cannot reach anywhere. So discipline is very important. So what I mean by a disciplined software engineer is who does not sacrifice quality for the speed. So you guys always know that the deadlines are, when the deadlines are, we are reaching towards the deadline. Sometimes like we need to speed up, and in that rush we should not sacrifice quality. But if you want to do something like that, please be aware of that. Create a technical debt. Whatever you are creating as a technical debt, come back and fight for it and fix it, because otherwise it will pull your leg in future. So that's the good discipline software engineer do all the time. So also a good disciplined software engineer know the importance of process. There are a lot of process like grooming and planning and retrospective and estimation. So these processes are in place. They understand, a good disciplined software engineer understand these processes are very important in order to move forward. And they understand the importance of that. For example, if it is a code review, they fully active in the code review. They give some constructive review comments. They don't think like, oh, okay, this is not my code. Why should I need to give some comments? I only care about my code. No, a disciplined software engineer doesn't think like that. Remember this one thing: the code works is not where you stop. A disciplined software engineer is actually starting when the code works. If the code works, he thinks that, oh, okay, code works, but that's not the final product. He will iterate and he will refine it. And it's like for iteration and refining it, follow a simple rule that is called make it work, make it right, and make it fast. So if you make a software piece the very first time, make it work. Don't care about all other things. First, make it work. That will give you the overall flow. Then the next step is make it right. That means that is the time you need to make all the quality related things and other non-functional requirements and everything. And the final step is make it fast. How can I optimize this code and things like that. So if you do these 3 stages, then only you can call that as a workable code. So make it work version is not a workable code. Okay. The next one is listening. I cannot emphasize how much important listening is in a software engineer career. So teamwork, when you are working as a team, teamwork requires open to different perspective. For example, when a particular problem in your hand, if somebody is telling you some reason to know, oh, we cannot implement in that way, we cannot implement, we should implement this way or something like that. Please listen first before you speak. First, listen, and that way it will help you to organize all your thoughts. Then from there you can move forward and say what are the points you have. And also the next important point is don't speak for attention seeking. So I know some developers just sitting in the meeting and just for giving some attention seeking, they talk some technical jargon. Okay, so don't do that. Bring up your genuine concepts. And for technical people, it's very, very easy. As a technical person, I can tell that it is very, very easy. You can get lost in expressing your ideas. For example, like convincing your ideas, you will get lost and you will keep on talking. So pause and listen, and then you will get to know that, okay, the other's perspective. So for that, there is a technique we call that as active listening. So for active listening, I follow three techniques. The techniques is like, the first one is asking questions. Listening means not only you just barely listen. It's not like that. Active listening is you ask questions. You ask questions to understand what he is telling. And the second one is taking notes. You can see this phenomenon in restaurants. If you go to a restaurant, once you finish your orders, they repeat your orders, right? So when they are taking notes of your orders, or even for a simple food, they are taking notes. Means for your project work, definitely you need to take notes. So that will help you to, put all your thoughts in a nice organized manner. And the next one is the last technique is called call and response. What I mean by call and response is, again, the same restaurant example. Once you finish that order, the restaurant guy repeat your orders in his term, so you will confirm, yes, these are orders. Similar way, when somebody is telling you some ideas or something in your meeting, just put the things in your own terms and repeat to them and say that this is what you are talking about. Then you both can come to a conclusion, and so that you can avoid most of the ambiguity in team discussions and other kind of setups, team setups. Okay. So that's very important for move forward in tech career. Listening is very, very important thing. And the next one is one of my favorite, which is don't be a hero. Please ask help. Okay. So don't confuse your persistence with pride. Yes, some of the problems are very tough. You need to be very persistent to solve them. But there is if you are not able to come up with some new term for Googling, then that is the time that you definitely need to ask help. Okay, so basically that's the indication that okay, you are out of idea, you don't have any other thing, then you definitely need to ask for help. For example, say the pride thing is very important. Like most of the people with pride, they don't ask for help. That's not going to help you. Okay, if you're asking help, it is a kind of a it is not it will you to grow, learn new things. For example, let's say you think a task can be done in only 2 hours. But what happened is you already spend 4 hours into it, and you are already went into this hero mode. What is oh my god, I already spent 4 hours, I cannot give up. And you keep on doing, and at the end you're frustrated and you close your laptop, you leave for the day. That's not going to help. Okay, and also avoid this mentality of I know the best, I know what I'm doing attitude. Okay, everybody knows a little bit. So if you are humble and if you have this mindset of I know very little bit, that will open up new doors to learn new things. Okay, so great developers always willing to admit when they don't know, and they don't know, they simply say, oh no, I don't know. Okay, they don't confuse with persistence with pride. Okay, and don't be that person. As I mentioned, don't be that person who spit out some bunch of technical jargons instead of acknowledging that they don't have the answer for the questions. Okay, don't do that. Okay, so that's very important. So next mindset is open your mind. Before you open your mind, before you open your mouth. What I mean by that is be open-minded. Like don't be obsessive with one technology or one tool or one framework or one kind of solution approach. It's not going to help you in innovation. For example, highly successful software engineers constantly learning. Every year there are tons and tons of frameworks and technologies are coming in tech world. So you need to be at least know, even if you don't know the deeper, at least you should know what is happening in the industry and what are the technology you can work on. And a successful software engineer know these kind of tools, and they can easily bring those tools into their day-to-day life. If they and they can able to filter it out. Okay, this tool or this technology or this framework can be applied to this one, this problem. So if you are having one language, one framework, you are expecting only one thing. You don't see beyond that one, and you try to fit your problem into that solution for that framework or for that language. Okay, so that's the thing. If after all you have is hammer in your hand, everything looks like a nail for you. Okay, so. And also, today's college school kids are coming up with a lot of new technologies and learning from the college itself. So in order to, as an experienced person, in order to guide them properly, you should know about what is going on in the industry and be open mind for that one. So please open mind for new ideas, new frameworks, new tool, new language, new approaches. So always be open-minded. Don't stick with one language, one framework kind of thing. And the next thing is making time. Yes, we have very limited time in a day-to-day life, right? So when you have that limited time, you should be able to effectively use that time on the right features instead of spending some nice to have or kind of shiny new things. Don't go after those things, okay? Because software engineering, in software engineering career, timing is everything. Okay, so for example, whether it's you are meeting the deadline or and you are delivering software on time, it's all based on how much you are prioritizing and how much you are especially focusing your energy towards the right thing. So how do I know? How do I find out? What are the features are very important to focus on? What are the things are nice to have? There is a formula for that. We call that as D equal to V by E. What I mean by that is D is the desirability for any change, and the V is for value of the change, and the E is the effort involved. So what I mean by that is, if you want to change something, or if you want to introduce a new feature, that is directly proportional to the value it's giving. So what value it's bringing into the table, what values it's bringing into the business. So it is directly proportional. Okay, that's the D is equal to V. But effort is inversely. So if you spending too much effort for too little values, like a particular feature is not that much important, like a kind of a show up icon design, or like what I say, it's not going to help you in the functionality, but it is going to just for the mere sake of nice to have. Then don't spend your time on that one very fast. These are the things you can do it later. Try to tackle or try to head on with a very important task or important feature at first. That's very important. So that's the importance of prioritizing your time. You should have a mindset of how to properly organize your time. And the next one is teamwork. You all know that none of us is as smart as all of us. Working as part of the team means always helping, always ready to help and support your teammates. Okay, so what I mean by that is building a software engineering, building a software is a kind of teamwork. It's a collaboration, and skills are very, very important in this effort. And also you should be aware of that every team members is unique. What I mean by unique is like they would have come up with a different background of knowledge, different cultural setup, and different things. That's why diversity is very, very important nowadays. Like that will, if you are collaborate with a different kind of people, it will lead to innovation. In our company, most of the time we change team. Like it's not like a fixed team for a particular product, like once in a 6 months or something, just for 1 month period or 3 weeks period. For one sprint, we would like to participate in others team as a kind of a guest, so that we learn new things and kind of things. So collaborations and as a team, it will help you to come up with the new innovations. Okay. And another thing is knowing that you have a team to fall back for solving some complex problem will give you a kind of a belonging feeling. Okay, so that's very important. So if you're having a team environment, that will encourage everybody to participate in the effort. Very in the effort very much. What to say? That effort you will not feel that there is too much effort. You can share that effort. Then the next one is estimating. So you know that like humans are very poor at estimating, including me. Like I have even last week I didn't estimate properly for some of my user stories. So making an estimate is give you the baseline for when we can finish or how much time we need to spend on this one, how much new resources we need to bring in, those kind of things. So imagine you have a new feature request. I will give you an example, like example of a situation. Like you have a new feature request from a customer, and you see that feature request, this is not a big deal, and you are saying that it will only take half a day. I can finish half a day. And when you're saying that half a day, one of the senior developers is looking at you and saying that, okay, and he's nodding his head, okay, on you. And you said, okay, half a day. And from that moment onwards, your mantra is like half a day, half a day, half a day, half a day. Every stand-up, you will come up with, I'll come up with some reason saying that, I'm almost there. I finished that one, this one, but still there are some part I need to finish. You know what went wrong here? At first place, you estimated wrongly. That's the thing. So please don't estimate for impress. Everybody's smart here, and don't show up like, oh, if I give some estimation, very tight estimation, people will think that I'm smart. No, no, that will pull your head. Like after every stand-up, you'll say, oh, it's still dragging. So please give a realistic estimate. So how can I give a realistic estimate? There is some techniques to give a realistic estimate. What you can do is you can split up the task or story into multiple simple tasks, so that you can know that how much you need to give estimation to individual tasks, so that collectively you can better at a ballpoint of how much you need to estimate for this overall effort. And the next thing is looking in the past, similar task, how much time it took, have that as a baseline. That's also another way. And the third thing is like ask some experts in that in the technology or in the domain area, so that you know how to estimate properly. But again, I'm telling you, software estimation is the thing. It's been there from 1970s. There is one study saying that software engineers are very worst at estimating, but at least with the new agile methodologies and these kind of new techniques, it's improved a little bit. Okay. And the final one is very important: loosen up, have fun. Okay. Yes, of course, you are in a team environment. You have a lot of responsibility to deliver a lot of things, but without having fun, you cannot move forward with the right mindset. So people rarely succeed. If you see a moody person, people rarely succeed unless they have fun. Okay, it's common perception that there are some common perceptions that sometimes fun is happening outside of work. No. Like if you have a good colleague and a friendly environment, that's nothing wrong. Like between that's why nowadays modern workforce, they're promoting play areas in their work area. Like between the meetings, they'll go for little table tennis kind of things. So having positive interaction and enjoying in a team environment with the co-workers in a social setup is very important. And also research suggests that positive, happy people are more productive than moody people. Okay, so these are the 10 mindset you should have. If you have this mindset early in your career, it will help you to reach out higher positions in your career path very easily, because technology will give you only a little bit. Okay, but this kind of mindset will help you a lot. Okay, so do you have any questions?
Well, let me start with that's a great presentation if you are a person who is looking forward to have a career in the software industry, because in the 10 points which you kind of mentioned, it's like our journey which you and me and all has came across in the last 10 to 12 years, what we learned. I mean, at some point of time, we are those person when we have been that person who has been said that don't do it, but we have done it. Okay, that's the experience which we want to share over here. That's what I feel like. Like, don't be that guy who we have been there and never tried to do it.
Yeah.
So so I mean, it's an insightful session in terms of like the reason why I'm saying that, because the lot of people who are trying to graduate, a lot of people who never had an experience at all in terms of work industry. They don't really know unless until they reach to around like 5 to 6 years to come across this experience. Years of service is not equivalent to experience. There are two different years of service is if you are in a company and if you just know one job and you never tried new things and you did for 30 years, you are just good in that area. That is not experience. When you tackle so many experiences, that's where you build yourself, building your career. And all the 10 principles which you have mentioned earlier, it's what really makes us a good person in terms of how to work with people. That's really important. How to work with people. So I really appreciate in terms of getting the precise things which we want to say to people. Going to the first question. Hi, Amuthan. Great mindset and principles. However, my question was more about data science. Which areas in demand data science, especially in industry-wise? Which areas in demand in data science?
Which areas and demands in data science?
Yeah, right now, in which areas? Like, let's say domain.
Okay.
Let's say in domain. Which area in domain right now?
I would say each and every industry is running towards data science, because you see there is a trend in, if you follow the software industry for the last 50 years, based on the news and articles and things. The very first time, only there will be people called staffs. They won't type the data into the system. They are the computer staff. They're data entry. We would call data entry person. Then comes in a situation where user can entry the data themselves. That's called, like, we register online. We went to register an online form, and so when user entering data by themselves, there are a lot of data. Okay, so and now we are in a place where machines can themselves sending sensor data and everything. So the data are collected. So if you have enormous data, what you are going to do with those data, it's going to be all of information. If you don't derive an intelligence from that information, in order to derive the intelligence from that information, you need data science. That's where data science is excelling. For example, if you take retail, they need to know how my customers are engaged. Are they happy with my product and things like that. If it comes to heavy motor industries, they want to know how can I do a preventive maintenance, like how can I stop breakdown before it's happening. So they have all the sensor data. They keep on collecting those data. So wherever you are collecting so much of data and you want to have some insight from that data science applied. So you can see from the last 10 years, especially for the last 5 years, there's a huge demand for data science and data science related projects. So previously, it's only record of system. We store the data and retrieve it and show to the end user and show some cool report generation from that. But nowadays, the cool report is not, it's very basic. They need more insights. They want to understand how their business is working, so that they can better serve to the customer and retain the customer. So it's all a very competitive edge for industry. So everybody is jumping into data science related. If you see the Fortune 500 company, each company at least will have one department dedicated for data science and data science related research.
Right. I mean, again, like earlier, as you said, it's the trend sets the flow of, like, data science and machine learning, and then the blockchain, and things keeps coming in, and it's pretty much in any field at this point of time, in any domain, we need to have applied the data. Anything related with we are required to have some kind of statistics. We need data science. Moving to the next question. What tools should one learn to start in the data science field? What kind of tools we require?
Okay, so yeah, again, tools there are a lot of tools for exploring the data. If you take a data science project, there are like 4 phases. Each phases you will use different kind of tools. First is data collection. Data collection is like data engineers and data science will collaborate in that area. So for data collection, you need to collect data from multiple sources. For that, there are tools for streaming tools like Kafka for data collection and streaming data, and batch big data. You need some tools to store those data. So big data databases like Hadoop and Cassandra and Elasticsearch, so those kind of things. Then once you collect the data, the next phase is doing exploratory analysis. So when you're doing exploratory analysis, that is time you need some kind of visualization charting tools. So like you have Kibanas and other charting and tools are available. The next stage is called the modeling stage. That is the time you model. So there are three broad categories. Some people model using a proprietary language like Python. Some people use some tools, and R is one of the famous language for modeling and data science model. And there are some proprietary tools like even Mathematica and MATLAB. Those kind of things they can use for proprietary tools. So more than tools and for deployment, there are cloud services for deploying your models. So more than tools, you need to understand the methodology and the approach. So if you're very good at statistical modeling, because data science is nothing but a old wine in a new bottle. If you're very good at probability, statistical modeling, and other type of data science modeling techniques like neural networks, those kind of methodology, this is heavily based on mathematics, but most of these mathematics-based models are already available as a free open source library. So you can directly make use of it. So as a starting point, I would say that understand this workflow, understand the tools available, try to use one of the existing data science model for whether it's classification or regression, those kind of or statistical modeling models. Use that one. Then once you're familiar with all these things, and if you're good at statistics and other modeling techniques, then you can write your own algorithm for data science.
Right. Exactly. My next question would be, there's a stereotype that if you're not good in mathematics, you can't do better in data science. What is your say on it?
Again, so most of the problem, like if most of the data science problem, they already have the algorithm. I wouldn't agree. I cannot totally agree with that point, because since all the algorithms are available, you don't need to know every part of your car to ride your car, right? Similarly, if you know which are the parts you need to put it in the right place, we call it as a cluing code, you can do a decent job. Okay, but if you really want to do some groundbreaking things, yes, that is the time you definitely need data science. Like for jobs like very complex, like Google, Facebook, people are doing some research kind of thing. Yes, at that time you definitely need a strong mathematics and statistical skills for come up with a new algorithm. But this industry in academic for the last 30 to 40 years, data science is not new, but it's picked up by the industry in the last decade because of the technology. I remember in my final year project time, I did a data science project for handwriting recognition engine. At that time, there is no grid computing capability, so that I need to run my program for almost 21 days straight to get some numbers, so that I can use that number. Those numbers are weightage for prediction. So 21 days straight, I need to run one single program. But in this era, we have grid computing and other technologies, distributed computing, so you can easily do those things nowadays. So you need not to be master for do a decent job or even a more acceptable job in data science. But if you're going with a little research oriented, it's always good to have mathematics and statistical under your belt.
Right. Well, I have another question popping up, which is like, this is more of like, in relate with the talk which we had just now. Mostly the others was like in data science. How to deal with unresponsive teammates, which is like kind of the pain in people management, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, as one of your slide was saying, it is easy to deal with the computer, but it's very difficult to deal with humans.
So how to deal with unresponsive colleague is, see, humans is unresponsive means if you genuinely care about them and genuinely ready to listen to them, and it's just open up, there might be some reason for the for them not to responding. So you should it's not a kind of if it is manager job, that's easy, but as a colleague you cannot go and approach them, but you should ask them, like, how can I help? If you keep showing your enthusiasm towards fixing the problem and asking for persistently asking questions, right type of questions, and give them space to talk, give them space to, hey, what do you think about this idea, why you are not responding, then they will listen. If they feel like belonging to that team, and if they feel like their ideas are validated, if they feel like they are not how to say, they feel like they're too much pressure or too much overloaded with their workforce, you should try to talk to them regarding how can you help. So once you are into that mindset, how can I help you? Like, as a human being, I'm helping other business people. For a software engineer, I'm helping business people. Why can't I help you as a teammate? So if you're approaching with that mindset, people will say, oh, okay, he's actually trying to help. So he will open up and he or she can tell, like, what's the problem going on. So that's the one technique. It's like most of the time we do pair programming. If it is unresponsive, we'll say that we will ask further deep level questions. So asking the right type of questions with the mindset of helping hand will help, will make them to realize. But again, this is one thing. I don't think that there are some maniacs. I don't know. Will they respond even in that way? Those kind of people are, if a particular person is not want to work on your team, they are looking outside some job or something, no matter what, how much you are trying to help them, they will not respond you properly.
Right. This is very the toxicity of this particular environment is very common in any industry.
One toxic person will ruin the entire team. So
because it's not just in the tech industry itself. It is in any industry can be. This is not just belong to information technology or not. It's a pretty obvious. It's a work.
The rule of thumb is be a better human, be a good human, then you will be a better software engineer, good software. That's it.
Meaning that, like, when we had other sessions also yesterday and today. Mostly the people who have been working for a pretty long time, the emphasis is basically teamwork, because the emphasis is about teamwork. And teamwork is what? Teamwork is not just being in one team. That's not the teamwork means. Teamwork is looking after each other. Like, if somebody is falling down, need help, you can pick that up and, like, try to help, genuinely try to help to push forward. And in most teams which I have seen, like, that's one of those mindset which in Archies we're like, being my vision, trying to bring it of a person who has been maintained and managed a lot of people. The culture has been set in terms of making sure that the grad students or the people who are trying to get trained in Archies have the right mindset of teamwork. Because if you don't have that mindset, really, you won't be succeeding in a long term. You will fall. You cannot really hide the true self of who you are, in terms of, even if you try to fake it, but it will just open up to whatever it is. So that's the most emphasizing part, where in your presentation also, like, Ask the questions. If you need any help, need help. Don't be that guy. If somebody is that will think about whether, oh, am I asking questions? And yes, you need to ask when after giving a try. There is two parts to it. Like, it's not about asking too much of times every single time. That's also not a good thing, right? There are things which you need to feel like, okay, the other person is getting bothered or not.
First ask help with Google. If you're good at Google, if you're good at Google, googling the terms correctly, and you are out of idea after Googling, then that is the time you need to seek for help.
Yeah, I mean, being a software engineer, there are 2 or 3 websites you should be learning. One is Stack Overflow, another one is Google. These 2 things, mostly like 80 to 90% of the problems which you're gonna face is already solved by somebody else in the past. It's occurred before. The rest may be like a 5 or 10 issues which may come across new ones, which could be solved by forums, like on the respective tools nowadays. Like, for example, if it is a Linux issue, there will be Linux Foundation, or a Java, there will be Java-based foundation. Like, so all those things, we will be able to solve it by asking the question directly. But most important thing is that being that person humble enough to not to be a hero, where you can be that like throwing the jargons out and throwing the don't be that person. That's because that's not going to do much good about that. Before we winding up, like, like, I know you have been authored several books. Like, for example, like, I mean, we will be attaching those into our description later. You have been authored for a person who's just coming out for a Java enterprise level, how to work with that in a Spring-based model back a few years ago. That was a best-selling book, and it's been in Amazon. And I was very proud to say that you have written that book. And then we had more advanced technologies like Kafka and streamings, and that also you have been authored. And now I believe, what else you are working on at this point of time in terms of like the future works, upcoming works?
So upcoming works, I'm looking forward always. It's I'm passionate about sharing knowledge, and teaching is one of the thing I really like. So after writing a couple of books in data science, a couple of books in enterprise Java applications, and I'm moving towards data science and data science related books. So as a first step in that direction, I'm writing streaming analytics, because in order to collect all the data, you need to have a streaming analytics methodologies. What are the patterns and tools available to do streaming analytics? Because people wants to get insights as soon as the event is happening in today's world. So after that, I have some ideas to write a couple of books in data science, not with heavy mathematics base, but with how we can approach problem solution oriented approach for this kind of problem. What kind of solution are available as a data science side? How this modeling, we can mix and match 3 different or 4 different modeling approaches fit into this problem. So that's my future ideas for writing those kind of books. Other than that, just in my personal time, I'm spending most of the time having a kind of a platform for realizing, enabling non-expert developers to learn about the data science concepts and other things easily. So those are the things I'm working on.
Great. One last final question before we wind up. So most of the time, the students or grad students who are just going to graduate, or people who might be trying to get into a space of data science, it's because of the duck theory. Like, when you have one person is saying, the followers will also be saying, work, like, let's follow the path ahead, like, let's follow the data science, and without understanding, is it really for you? Is there any advice for aspiring? There would be genuine people who really want to get into the field of data science, but there are some people just for the namesake. Oh, this is so cool to say that I'm a data scientist, or that I'm a person from data science. How can you? What is your advice to differentiate the grad students who are just coming out?
Okay, cool. So that's a good question, actually. Maybe the attraction because of the word science in the role, data scientist or data science.
Yeah.
But believe me, okay, there are a lot of roles. Single data science. If you see the industry studies, there are many unsuccessfully completed data science projects. Starting as data science project and completing it is not easy because you don't know the requirement. It's not clear-cut requirements. Even if you have clear-cut requirements, you don't have the clear-cut data. The data are sometimes very error-prone and other things. You miss some data science. You go to data science only if you don't have if you have data and you need to do some kind of prediction and kind of other kind of things. So before that stage, there are other parts, bringing the data to the table and displaying the data in a proper way and doing other kind of things. So data science is a very small part. Yes, of course, there is a demand for data science and data scientists. I see the increase, but it's not the only thing. If you don't really have a genuine passion for solving a complex data science related problem, in order to do that one, first you need to get the basics right at first. If you don't have the basics right, like if you don't know how to do a normal coding or program, there is no point being a data scientist, because you can come up with a nice algorithm, but you cannot make that algorithm workable in a real day-to-day technology situation, because there are other factors like how the data is stored, how it's retrieved, what is the performance aspects, what are the use cases, what are the use cases, what is the usefulness, and those kind of things. So yes, there is demand for data science. If you want to pursue your career path in data science, do data science challenge. There are some online forum like Gaggle. Is one of the site, so you can do and how we have a programming challenges. There are some data science problems you can go and solve, and keep connect with data science meetups and things, kind of books, and read a lot of books in data science. But in order to grasp all those methodology, in order to grasp all those technology, first you need to have your basic correct. Who knows, once you finish your basics, you may more interested towards other parts of the technology areas. Like there are many data engineers and enterprise architects and solution cloud solutions. Cloud is a big thing, and even now we are talking about data science and the demand for data science. I would say that in next 10 years, after 10 years, there will be more demand for VR artists and VR virtual reality programmers. Like they do programming and user interface for virtual reality, the goggles, for those kind of things. So the skill set, the demand will change, but if you go one after other, you will not master anything. So take your time and genuinely think about what is you are really interested in, what kind of problems solving gives you excitement. Go behind that.
Right. Well, again, I really appreciate. Thank you so much for giving this amazing session and answering all these questions. And I'm pretty sure that if the people who have listened to it would definitely help in terms of to get their career aspiring journey. And thank you so much again, Amuthan, to personally come here and accept
and,
the
and also
invitation.
and also thank you. Thank you, and I'm very much happy that I could able to share some of my experience with you guys. These are the experience I have. You cannot get it from books, but if you get this experience in your earlier career, you can be a superstar. And I'm wishing you all the very best in your career path. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amuthan. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. We have our next sessions in English communication. Thanks again, Amuthan. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Cool.
Bye. Bye.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what at least in software development field. The academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path so that everybody have some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the train.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced?
Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome back again with yet another session on endurance. And right now we have Figen from Anadolu University, and she is one of the trainer for Archie's Academy as well in terms of English. And today, right in the next 45 minutes to 1 hour, we're gonna discuss about mostly the importance of communication in terms of, especially in English language, and how to make improvements in terms of speaking skills and as well as like written skills and other forms as well. And Figen is a CELTA and Delta certified trainer. Figen, welcome aboard. You are on mute, by the way, so if you can unmute, that would be great. I'm unmuting you. Okay, there you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Now, great. So hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me, Thoufeeque, and Archie's Academy as a speaker to this great event. So it's very nice to be here with everyone, although virtually, but still nice to be here. Okay.
I mean,
yeah,
it's a thing at this point of time. Everything is being virtual. Hopefully, it will be end in the next few months. And in that way, one thing is that we can connect to more people around the world. We have people from different parts of the world here. To start with, I would like to start with something personal, like coming from Turkey, and I've been living in Turkey for the last couple of years. It's something similar to India, but a bit more in an extreme way, because in India we have to know at least 2 languages. One would be your mother tongue, as well as definitely English or Hindi, because we have so many languages in India. So if you want to communicate between one state to another state, you need to know one common language. And because we come from a British colony, English is our medium of communicating between each other. But in Turkey, most of the time you speak Turkish. It's written though in Latin letters, which is in English form, but you pretty much don't speak English at all. And everywhere it's an English kind of second, it's a fancy language, that's what. How did you start your journey in terms of getting into an English? Are you fond of English? You become a Cambridge certified trainer, etc. What's your journey like?
Okay, all right. So I can say that I've always had this, strong desire to learn English during my, learning studies, and I have a background of teachers. Living in my family. That's why I've always wanted to learn English, and then after that, I've become an English teacher. So, you are right. So, in Turkey, as we have Turkish as an official language, as the only official language, it's really very difficult to be exposed to English as a foreign language. So that was really very hard for me as well to learn English and to improve it. So that's why you need to expose yourself to English as much as you can if you want to learn it.
Right.
So that's what I suggest my students as well at my school. So try to learn English in the way you like. Learning it. For example, if you want to, if you like watching TV series, just watch them in English with or without subtitles. So
that's being, again, I would have to specific with we are not coming from a native English speaking countries. At least both of us. There might be other viewers might be, but and we know the pain of having an extra language comes into, and at this point of time, I kind of think English and speak English. That would be the reason which I can communicate. At least at Archie's, when we are working at our office, we kind of try to make sure that we kind of speak only English because there are multiple people with multiple languages out there. Most of the time, whenever somebody joins from Turkey, especially, the first thing would be that, oh, I don't know English. It's like you self-submitted yourself that I am bad at English. That mindset is causing the issue. Like, I am bad at English, and that's keep on yourself in your subconscious that you are not. How can you overcome that? Is there any techniques in terms of a training? How can you overcome your submission towards I am bad in English? How can you overcome that?
Okay. Well, well, to my experience, there's always, a barrier between the people who want to learn English and the language itself. I guess it comes from the education system in Turkey. So it is, perceived something like, which is very difficult to learn or improve in our schools. Well, I think we need to convince everybody it's not, something to be afraid of, but it's something that we should enjoy doing, I guess. That's why we need to go back to our primary and secondary education system and should include some fun elements into teaching English, I guess. So we should make it more enjoyable for our students. And the other thing is that we need to show our students what they can do in the language. So again, it's something related to how we teach our children. We need to show them what they are good at doing. So somebody can't be, 100% bad at doing something. So as a teacher, I always show my students what they've done well in a lesson, and then what areas they need to work on more in the future, in the next lesson. So they need to build more confidence in learning English, I guess.
Right.
This is something we need to work on as educators.
Right. And there is a famous research and hence also proved that any kids within the less than the age of 7, they can get the things automatically. That's kind of because of how our brain works. They can just grasp the things and they learn more things very faster, etc. So it's very easy because of the brain is formed like that. But after the age of 7, the only way around to learn something new, be English or be technology, be other form of stuff, other form of skills, you need to repeat it. Yes. Repetitive is the only way around we can improve it. Repetitive is the only way you can make sure that you can build your confidence in. Personally, since I mean, one of those reasons, like let's say, it's not just being communicating English and talking. I'm very bad in Turkish. I've been here almost 5 years and I can't still speak Turkish. Okay. If somebody asks me to say something, I still fear, am I doing right? And I'm not pushing myself. And at least my job does not demand to speak Turkish at this point. But the same mentality is what the other person, and they need to know that it's a foreign language, but I demanded to learn it. Sometimes what happens for me is when I'm becoming personal, when I'm asking them personal things or what's happening, or is there anything good happened to yourself apart from work, or they become more personal, they try to be open and they will become confident. So in our training process, in our Archie's what we are trying to train, we train to make sure that how to be thriving in business. So what all difference of things which we are trying from your perspective as a trainer to become in work environment?
Okay, well, in work environment, then I would suggest some specific classes to people to deal with different issues, to communicate in work environment. because the language that they will need to use will be different from the language that they will use in social contexts, right? So one suggestion to you could be, Thoufeeque, is that, well, in your work place, you can choose only one person to speak in Turkish. And with the others, maybe you can speak in English. All right. So you can also do that. So you can choose one person, and you won't use any other mother tongue, your mother tongue with that person, but use only Turkish. Okay. And to people who would like to improve their English, that they would help them in their business context, would be some specific courses to learn what language is used, or to improve their ability to write and speak in English in both, professional interactions or social interactions.
Right.
So, and they will also learn skills that they can apply to business negotiations as well, either in written reports and emails, and maybe in professional, presentations as well.
Right.
So
right.
they need to put more effort in it.
Right. And you said about the written communication, like, I know that I'm kind of bad in written communication, but the tools like Grammarly, with AI powered tools like Grammarly helps us to autocorrect your grammar mistakes, which kind of, when you are speaking, it's okay, but when you try to write, it's completely relates different way how you thought process versus to write. And I often make a lot of mistakes in that by myself. Just switching to a personal, like, I would like to switch back and forth. What was your path towards like getting Cambridge certified trainer? What was the path? How difficult it was, and when did you start, and how did you achieve it? How did you reach there?
Right. So, well, I decided to become a trainer, SALTA and Delta trainer. These are standard certificate programs by Cambridge assessment, by the way. And so I decided to become trainer, so both certificate programs, when I had 10 years of teaching at Anadolu University. So, well, if you are a person who, likes improving herself professionally at different stages of your life, of your career, you just stop and then think what you need to do more, next to improve yourself professionally more. So first, I took these certificate programs as a participant, course participant, and then I thought, well, I would, work with teachers, and I would learn from them more. And that's how I started my training career. And then I worked abroad in different countries as a SALTA trainer and a Delta trainer as well. And I found out that I liked, working in different contexts with people with different backgrounds and cultural backgrounds. So that's why I just, keep moving on my training career more. So that's how it happened. So the thing is, well, I now work with teachers from different countries, and they say, okay, Figen, what do I need to do next? I just say, okay, first, stop and look at what you have done so far. And you need to give yourself some time to sink in, what you have learned. And then you need to take a step further. This is what I suggest to people who would like to improve their career. So that's how I became a trainer.
it was not just an easy path as well, like, coming from a country which most of the people don't
Yeah.
even speak English,
Mhm.
and then to
Mhm.
go against a language which you probably don't have people to speak to even, and then
Mhm.
become a certified trainer. It's definitely
Yeah.
not an easy task. Um,
Yes,
you
Sophie, but
said,
the thing
uh,
is, well, if you want to do it, you just do it.
right,
Nothing
right.
is,
That's also right.
yeah, you do it, and it doesn't, it's not difficult anytime. If you think nothing is, the word itself is impossible. Nothing is impossible. So
Right, right. I
the
completely
word
agree with
itself
you.
says,
Like,
"I am possible." That's what I
I am
meant.
possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like,
I am possible.
this is very much important thing that you said. I am possible. The reason is, like, for me myself, uh, I was almost until I finished my graduation in my university. I never speak English, like, I never had a chance to even speak, like, just like in Turkey. I just spoke my mother tongue, it's Malayalam.
Yeah.
And then I moved my state from where I'm come from, Kerala, to another state in India. That's where I kind of start, because my colleagues are from different states, and kind of force me to, um, force me to speak English. The one thing which I can tell you from that, I didn't care whether it is right or wrong, because
Mm,
I just start speaking,
exactly.
and
Mhm.
and and that given me the confidence to over the period of time, I'm already a person who don't mind speaking with new people, that you already know it.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Mhm.
for me, ice breaking sessions are very easy. I can just start to anybody, to start communication.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but that from being that person, I didn't stop my inhibition of, oh, I'm gonna try out all new languages, and whether this
Yeah.
person is gonna judge me. That's something which I want to address here. The people who I know personally right now, with working with Archies and all, or at least I met in the last couple of years, when they're speaking in their mother tongue, they are all fine. They are all okay to, like, I can, because when I'm group of other other people from Turkey and I'm the person there, this person is talkative and this person is an extrovert. There's no issues on speaking. But as soon as when there is another Turkish person is also there and I am there and I want to speak with them, they feel like, oh, what if I'm going to make mistake and the other Turkish person is going to judge me? That judgmental is the problem, is what makes you feel like down.
Yeah.
How do you give advice for this kind of situations?
Yeah. Mhm. I see. I see. Yeah. Well, I well, I was the same in the very beginning of my training career, because I thought, oh, there might be some, prejudice towards Turkish trainers because their first language is not English. That's why I didn't apply for any job opportunities of working on abroad. And then I again thought, why not? Well, is everybody, in different centers abroad working with native speakers? No, it's not possible, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I just applied for the job and then got accepted because, I got interviewed as well. So, if they
Mm-hmm.
didn't like my language, if they didn't like me, they wouldn't have accepted me, my application. And
Right.
after that, I thought, well, I don't have any weaknesses. So I always have something to improve more. I know
Right.
that, but they are not my weaknesses. I don't have
Right.
any weaknesses at all. So I have my, as we call it in our training sessions, areas for improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as I
Mm-hmm.
say, no lessons are, perfect. Okay. There are
Mm-hmm.
something to improve in every lesson and in myself as well. So I
Right.
don't see any of my mistakes as weaknesses, but to something to improve more. So that keeps me motivated and more ambitious.
Right. You're right. So that's motivation is complete, is what makes you a person who can be like, push forward. That motivation is really required. The dedication and motivation is completely important, right?
We should have it, shouldn't we? We should have some, area gaps to fill in. So we should have them.
Absolutely.
That's how I take it. Yeah. So, well, I know people in Turkey, think that when they first start learning English, they just think, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. So, but they can do something, and they need to know what they are.
Exactly. That's all. I also kind of say to my people that, I mean, in the place where I'm staying in Turkey, Eskişehir, there are English clubs, where you go kind of speak together, kind of want to speak to each other. And nowadays I'm not able to get time, and also because of pandemic, it's kind of restaurants are closed here. I'm not able to get time to meet with them. They're trying to make sure that they're getting able to speak, the chances of speaking. So the other question, which is kind of feels like, which some of the times, which I kind of understand, is like forgetting the words. Most of the time, like, because I personally know that, like, people want to say something, but they don't know the English word for it. That's suddenly like, oh, okay, give me 1 second, because that brings down the confidence. Oh, I don't know English.
Right.
What do you say to those people? Like, they're genuinely trying and they want to speak. And I always say, no worries, take your time. That's, no worries, take your time. But they kind of forget the word, what they want to express it.
Yes.
So what is your advice for that?
Well, I just say, as long as the person who is listening to you gets what you mean, it's okay. I just say, don't worry about it.
Absolutely.
Because, as long as the communication, is not broken, then it's okay. Well, one time you don't know the word itself, but when you can communicate with that person, you just go and check what the word is. And next time you will use it.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the communication. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's about communication again, right.
In relate with that topic also, in relate with that topics as well, I have one more thing, is that accent. I come from India, okay?
Yeah.
And Indian accent has been kind of pictured differently in Western media, and especially in Simpsons. Apu is the character who kind of, the thought process of how to speak. Indians have different types of accents in the first place. Like, north part of India and India have Indian accent, because India is the biggest English-speaking country in the world. If you count number of people, like, we are Indians are the biggest nation on earth which speaks English. But Indian accent is kind of one thing, and people kind of think that accent is everything. And I really don't genuinely care about accent. And your point which you made, communication, that's what matters. The other person is understanding or not. So what do you want to say about, like, the Turkish accent, if you want to say?
Yeah, okay, yes, I have something to say, to add to this. So in my classes, when when I teach a word, we sometimes, teach the its pronunciation in American and British accent, and the students go, okay, teacher, so which one should I use? Which one should I use? So, well, I just say, it's up to you guys. So which one, you like, you can use it. But the thing is, don't forget that. Well, you will have your own Turkish accent of English.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have my own accent, so nobody can change it, and I'm happy with it because I'm Turkish anyway. So I just again go back to the importance of communication, and as long as it's achieved, so we shouldn't care about what accent, we have. And
Right.
well, we have, and some course books or also provide, different activities in which different people speak with different accents. So which are, okay.
I mean, the one I also I remember one of this documentary. I mean, it is like you probably know Nas Daily. Nas Daily is one of the biggest YouTube content creator,
Right.
and he is coming from Israel, Palestine, and he went to Harvard, and from the early age onwards, he kind of start obsessive to improve his English in terms of how the Americans speak, because that way he was able to communicate better when he was doing the content type. So I'm not really saying that accent does not help you, of course, if you are, but my point would be, do not stress about the accent
Yes,
itself. I mean,
yes,
you don't have to, you
exactly.
know. We
Exactly.
do have few
Well,
questions.
it's
Yeah, go
a
ahead.
personal preference. So can you
Right.
hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So I was saying it's a personal preference. So if you want to choose an accent and improve it, then go for it. For
Exactly.
example, I have a friend who has never been been abroad, but he has, a real American accent, because as I
Right,
said,
right.
he has been exposing himself to English, American English, as much as
Yeah.
he can.
Yeah. And the same does we, like, I one of our trainee in RT is also like, she haven't never been to America, but if I hear how she speaks, she's from Michigan or something, like, the way how the Midwestern Americans speak, because in US itself there are multiple accents. If you go to South side,
Right.
there's Texas, you can East side, West side, there's like different types of accents. And this person, like the trainee who is in our academy, she speaks very good, like Michigan Midwestern English accent. Okay, so she never been to US, but like that's the way how
Right.
people listen and speak. So let's go to the
Sure.
question, Figen. Like,
Yes.
I always have to think of a sentence that I have to say before speaking in English. It does not come spontaneously. How to change that?
I'll
Thanks, Vijay.
say, yes, thank you for the question, Vijay. And well, practice will make it better and perfect at the end. So don't think how you would say it in English. Just, let whatever comes to your mind go and say it. Okay? So nobody will stop you and say, "Oh, you were supposed to use, simple past tense here, but you used present simple or whatever." So nobody will stop you. Okay? As long as you can communicate with the person, that should be okay, Vijay. Just feel more confident to do it. Okay? You can do it. You
Yeah.
can do it. You will do it. Don't worry about it.
Just don't give up. That's all the thing.
Yes,
Don't
and
give up, and
jump
yeah.
over that barrier. Yes, please do.
Yeah, a good question. Next question from Ashwati: how to improve my listening skills in English? This is very
Okay.
important.
Yeah. So Ashwati, what do you like listening to? That's my question.
I don't think we can have the chat. Maybe we need to come back.
Okay. Anyway,
So it's a
first,
question, like, in general question: how to
so
listen skills in English? Yeah.
all right, I would just suggest practicing what she likes listening to. For example, if she likes listening to music, just listen to music in English. If you like watching TV series, just and go and choose, TV series and watch them in English, in with subtitles at first, and then remove the subtitles and just watch it with its original language, I mean English. And well, it's about what you like, how you like doing it. So just practice more. Or again, you can just choose one person to speak in English, and you won't use your mother tongue with that person, but only English. Okay,
Right.
even texting will be in English, speaking will be done in English, and just, keep doing that.
Right. And adding to that point, and also to a couple of points which you said early, the diversified culture which you like to work with. That's one of those things in Archies, you probably know it by now. We have people from at least so many countries, around 10 to 15 countries. And a bunch of them are actually from my home state, Kerala. And even in meetings, we most of the time, even if it is just people who are from Kerala, I try to not speak my mother tongue at all there. I just force to speak English because initially it was kind of weird for them. That in inhibitions of like again to how to speak. After a while, I just only keep continuing and continuing. Uh, whenever I'm switching to my mother tongue, they are not able to get it. Like when I'm switching to mother tongue, like to speak into Malayalam, they are like, how can I answer that question in my language? Because they are not getting it, because they are used to hear me only
Yes,
in
they are
English.
used to hearing it, right? Exactly.
So that's
So
one
it's
of those things. And able to work in a multicultural, multi-language, a multilinguistic, company makes much more better in that sense.
yes,
You know.
yes.
So,
Right.
eh,
So if you want to improve the language, then you should avoid using your own mother tongue. For example, some of our students go abroad with work and travel as a group of, with a group of Turkish friends,
mhm.
So some come back, without any English at all.
Yeah,
Because
right,
there, again, with each other, they only speak in Turkish. That's what
right, right.
I strongly suggest, guys. When you are there, okay, if it's possible, don't see each other and try
Exactly.
to speak with other people, who speak English. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's right. That's right. That's the only way around it. So we have another great question. Which languages are easy to master for a Turkish native?
For a Turkish native, um, I would
Probably
say,
apart from English, which
yeah,
languages,
yeah. So, which languages are easier for us to master? So, I would say, well, when I started learning Spanish, I found it really very easy.
Hmm.
Spanish was easier. So, I
Right.
think the family that they come from are very similar. So, because, well, as far as I know, Turkish is they call it agglutinating language. So there is a word, and you add a suffix to it, and then it becomes another word. So that's why, well, to my experience, Spanish was easier. And as the other reason why Turkish people find English difficult to learn is that the difference between the word order, you know. So
Hmm.
that's why I found Spanish to learn easier. I would say,
Right.
to my experience.
And I think one more language which I would like to mention would be probably because of in Turkey, most people like to go to Germany, and a lot of people are in Germany, kind of very good in German. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, especially in Eskişehir, like where people are obsessed with being in Belgium or Germany. So probably it's because of the historic reasons they might be there a lot. Any specific things?
Well, but what I know is they are totally different languages, Tofe. Yeah, they
Hmm.
are, but the reason could be, well, many Turkish people, go to Germany to live, and they are based in there, and then because of some economical reasons, that's why you have met many people who know German. Could be one of the reasons. Yes. Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I think there was some internet glitches there. I don't know it's mine or yours, because I have a horrible internet issues for the last for a few days. So going back to Archie's Academy, okay, like and being you are the person who set the curriculum in terms of English communication. If what would you say to the people who are listening who wants to start, like, why the importance of English communication and why you should join Archie's? What is the difference between the others and us?
Okay. So, well, if they want to, become powerful speakers of English, they should join us, first of all. Okay. Because, well, in our sessions, we try to help them improve their speaking skills. And we also teach them some language that they will use in different contexts in business. That's why if they want to, feel more confident in speaking, they should definitely join us, I would say. So, yeah.
And in terms of like our activities, like in terms of we are more oriented towards practical knowledge rather than making just some. We are more towards practical knowledge. So, is there any kind of, I mean, like, if I'm joining, what all are the things in your session which I'm expecting? What would be the things?
Okay, so well, we try to have our participants interact with each other, and they are monitored by us, their trainers, and then we also help them improve their, as we say, areas that need to be, improved. That's why they use their language, English, in activities, and then we just say, okay, you have done this well, all right, and you need to work on these more. That's how we do it. That's why after a session, our participants know how what areas they need to work more. That's how we do it.
Right, and in terms of the it's a 6 months curriculum which we are having. The primary goal, like this is towards me, I'm just sharing it. The primary goal we introduce English communication as a course is because a lot of people who want to join as a software engineer, but they kind of fail to speak, I don't know how to speak English. And we have a strict policy that you should really know English because we want to get people in from other countries to work with you. That's one of the most important thing which we are thought of having English as the language to be trained over here. So in the 6 months period, if somebody finished it, what all qualities which they are expecting to get it?
So they will have learned how to communicate in written context. So they will have learned how to write formal and informal emails, how to make presentations, how to agree and disagree with each other, with their colleagues in their work environment, and many other skills they will have developed. So, and we always, as I said, try to do it to improve their communication skills. Can you hear me again? Did I get disconnected?
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you.
Hello?
I just came. Yeah,
You can't hear me.
we can
Hear
hear
me?
you. It's just Thoufeeque's,
I'm back.
Thoufeeque's
I'm back.
network.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, so it's not
All
my
right.
internet.
I was praying for in the event it should not
Okay,
be
then I
happening.
can go on, I guess.
Right. It was my issue. Go ahead.
Okay, that's okay. So yes, so this course will help them learn the skills and strategies that will transform their speaking forever, I would say.
That's right.
So,
I know that there is some kind of issues is happening with the internet. I mean, like, to the people who are listening, I really apologize. I don't know whether it's me. Definitely, it should be me also involved in it, because I have been facing this for the last few days as a new internet service provider. Just going to the context before we start winding up for this session. For example, like, we have our pilot batch, which started like a month ago or month and a half ago. So far, they are doing good. And did you see improvements? And when did you start seeing improvements in them?
okay, so I've seen some people have improved their speaking skills. So I will tell you, in which stages of the lesson it was. So, as I said, we try to get our participants to practice their English in groups. So in the very beginning, some students didn't, speak at all, and they were just saying, okay, that's all, So they just said one sentence and then stopped. But now I can see they are making more sentences.
I mean, that's something great, right? Like, when they are started speaking confidently, not just one single word, which we kind of, and that feeling of improvement is everything for us. It's basically that improved, the person gets improved. And I'm really happy to see that that's happening.
Yes. So that's what makes us, pleased, happy. So that's the most rewarding part of teaching, I guess.
I think so. The training part, that's the most important thing. Like how it is that feel the other person getting improved. I just want to add one more point along with the importance of, like, in terms of tech space, why it's important. Like, for example, you are an engineer, you are a software developer. Most of us in this endurance would be from that field. You will be writing code. When you write the code, it may not be like, you need to use a lot of English in terms of written grammar, communication, etc. But when you have meetings, when you have conferences, when you have your daily updates, those times having the confidence to say things is really important. And especially if you are working from different countries, like, for example, in US and in Turkey, and over the period of time when they are doing repeatedly, they are all good. So repetition is really important, and making the confidence also is important. And that's what we care the most, like, how to improve the next person. With that being said, that if you can, like, is there any closing notes or like anything which you wanna mention to the group if they want to improve, or personally, or if what they should do, like, a quick 2-minute tip, what do you want to say?
Sure. As we have mentioned, during this talk, I would say never give up. Okay, so you will have some ups and downs during this journey. So try to enjoy every bit of it. And if you want to improve your English more, join us, our Academy.
Right. Right. Indeed, it's a promotion, right? Like, please join us. Please let us improve you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we take pride in people who gets improved. Okay, we take pride. That's the ultimate thing. And I know Figen is doing like an amazing. The curriculum which we put forward in such a way that to make sure that we build a person's quality, a new skill, how we can be improved. Well,
and other thing I like about working, being a member of the family, Archie's Academy family, is that, well, I like the teamwork that we do here. So I really owe a lot to Ece and Aslım. So I would like to thank them a lot, because this is what we do in English communication lessons are, a teamwork. So thank you very much to them too.
Again, teamwork is the key of here. Okay, teamwork. Everything is building over here is a teamwork. With that being said, that I would like to thank you so much again to spend this time, 1 hour, last 50 minutes, and helping the people who have been difficult to speak English or communicative English. And hopefully, if there are friends or somebody who's out there of you the viewers, please do spread the word of our amazing English communication sessions, and let us help you out to improve it. Thank you so much, Figen, again.
We will be looking forward to seeing them with us in our sessions.
Right,
English communication sessions. Yes. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Yeah. That being said, that we are going to have our last session, or the last topic. That's a cracking the coding interview. That would be with me again, and giving a 5-minute short break. And please do join. And I would like to see people who are in Archie's community and other people are coming out. I genuinely want to express how are the tips and tricks in order to make you to entry into a job market. I would like to point that out. And with 5 minutes, a short break, I'll be back here. Please don't go anywhere. Be here itself, and looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Archie's Academy is a training center which allows anybody who wants to become a software engineer or a software developer who have been either studying in computer science or maybe just any kind of engineering. Sometimes what happens is that when you learn from the universities or in colleges, you will not able to apply those in the real life. You just study, you get the degree, and then you forget about it. Real life, what happens is you go through experiences of certain things which allows you to become more and more professionals. So that's what in at least in software development field. The academy helps every individual who has different abilities, such as probably some of them are like engineers, most of them. There are people who are creative persons, there are people who have management skills. So there are different qualities of people having in life which can be trained into particular path, so that everybody has some space in this particular field itself. So how can you become a professional is what the training from RG's Academy we are focused on.
A simple Google search will tell you that 3,898,000 students graduated this academic year, only from the United States, majoring in software-related degrees, such as computer science and IT. So if we pull up the approximate data of people entering the software market every year across the globe, we might actually skip the whole discussion. While students are graduating in crazy numbers, a simple scroll on LinkedIn is enough to vouch for the unemployment, which is spread far and wide. So the industries are growing, jobs are being automated, which needs people skilled in software and related subjects. But the graduates are unemployed. How does this equation not fall balanced? To address these issues, a recent survey of employers demonstrated that the majority of college degrees are redundant and don't equip students with the necessary employable skills. In the software industry itself, many people are losing jobs because of a lack of up-to-date skills. At Archie's Academy, we provide training for project management, product development, and program development.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back again on the last session and the last talk for the day, which is with me. The topic, as you said, cracking the coding interview. Now, I would like to extend that not just the coding interview. I would like to get to how to get placed or how to get hired, because just cracking the coding interview doesn't cut it. It has to be how to get hired. Right, like how to get employed. Now, the thing is that there are several steps, and in the last 2 days, we have covered several topics. In several topics from several industry leaders or the people who have been had been in this industry, who have worked and in several different roles, in several different areas with expertise, and all they wanted to mention is that how did they reach there? It's like how they become the people who you are. And it all starts from the last 2-day session. The first step is to have a good resume. Resume is everything in terms of what skills you have. And in Yukon sessions yesterday, which kind of mentioned very clearly that nowadays, even the humans don't even go through the resumes anymore. It's mostly done by OCR. They do detect whether you have the right keywords. And then you even get able to get an interview call. That's the situation that, if you don't have the right things which you have put, having 5 different pages of your resume, you don't even get an interview call in the first place, because there are thousands and millions of resumes are going towards Google or big companies. Even the small companies, there are hundreds of resumes are out there. And how it's getting picked up? How does an interviewer or a recruiter pick up your resume saying that this is a good fit? So having a good resume, if you don't have, I would really like to see, go ahead and check your resume right now. That's the first thing which I kind of, from the first batch onwards, when somebody is joining Archie's, I will ask their resume and tell them, look at this. If you go with this one, you're not going to get a job. I'll just say upfront, you're not going to get a job because it's not because of you're not qualified. It's because you're not even going to get an interview call. That's the reason. That's the first thing. You need to get an interview call to get a job. Then you proceed from there. So it's really super demanding that to make sure that have a clear, precise 1 or 2 pages, not beyond that, having your resume. Now, skills. What all are the skills which is matters? Skills are your what do you call it? Arrows. Skills are your arrows. If you want to shoot somewhere, like there are as many skills you have, better you get, and at least master 1 or 2. Like I would just say, even if you master 1 language, that's good. Master 1 language, and then there are several tools out there. If you can master those tools, and there are several frameworks out there. Master that, like a couple of frameworks, then you are good to go. You can say that you are, at least you are hireable. The important thing which you need to understand is that when you are applying for a job, the job description, read it carefully. Do not just go ahead and just apply for every job. That's one of those things which you need to avoid. Do not do that, because it just don't work out. You're losing a chance. Do not just go ahead and apply for each and every job application with the same resume, because read carefully whether if that description out there has your set of skills or not, and then apply. Because the chances are you just don't gonna get selected, or you lose the chance with that company in the first place. So it's very important to read through the job description whether that company has my set of skills or not. Or move on. There are several options are there. Okay. So your skills are your arrows, and that need to be having clear, precise things. Now, at Archie's, what are we trying to do? At Archie's, like here, we are trying to build experiences for the people who don't have experience. That's a quite interesting thing, because I always have this feeling. A lot of people who kind of join the companies, or a lot of people who are trying to get a new job, what happens is that the first things they ask, hey, how many years of experience you have? Like, for example, React experience. And you're asking a junior developer who's going to join a company, hey, you need to have a React experience, but it's a junior role, but you need to have like a 4 years of experience in React. How in the world a junior developer has a 4 years of experience in React? No, that's not going to happen. But the most important thing is that it's not just about the years of experience. I've been keep telling that to our trainees and other places. Not about of years of service in the company, or like what you work. It's the number of the issues or number of problems you have solved. When you solved a lot of problems, that build your experience. That's exactly what you're trying to do in Archie's. Like basically, you are equipped with one or the other problems. You just keep providing more and more problems. In that way, even if it is short period of time, you can say you have a lot of experience. Okay, so a lot of experience in short period of time is equivalent to a lot number of years who is in the service with little bit of experience. So you need to understand that. So we try to build the experiences here, and there are this is most important. When you are a person genuinely worked on something, if you are a person who worked on a problem, and you know what you solved, an interviewer asked that question, you know how to answer. Period. You know how to answer. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to say something unnecessarily bullshitting around, like what is that? What is this? You don't have to say anything of those. If you genuinely work on that, then there you are, like, you know absolutely say what good you are at. If you're not, if it's not, that's it. So building a real world, how things work in in the in the industry, simulating that exact same stuff for the grad students or the people who never worked in the industry, it's really important. And that's one of our core mission in Archie's Academy, making sure that they have the same amount of experience which is out there. Because whenever we are producing somebody who is ready, you are good to go to get a job, then that means that person is really good in an industry that we can vouch for it. That's the way how we are doing it. Now the next thing is that now building the profile up, like just like resume, there are other ways to do it as well. For example, like maintaining your LinkedIn profile, very super important. If you are not a person who is not looked into LinkedIn, go right now and start looking your LinkedIn and make sure that you're updating your skills and getting your some kind of what do you call it, recommendations or what project you worked in. Like, for example, people today who have been a part of endurance, that's an experience. You don't need to work in a company to show your experience. That's an experience. In today, whatever you are attended, you build a small project. What we tried to build today was an experience. Go update your LinkedIn that you have participated in endurance. This was my project. Give details of the project which you have done and show the at least the what was the end result of it. So that way, even if you haven't worked in any company, you have something to show in your LinkedIn. That's why we were like planning to have a hackathon, which causes in 2 days a real world prototype. And I'm happy to see the people who have worked on it. And really, I've been part of last 2 days, constantly looking at it. And I see a lot of talents out there, which I can see a lot of energy put into it. And I wish there were more participants. I genuinely wish there were more participants which would be able to get benefit out of it. Most grad students or most people who does not have an experience out there, who just keep complaining about, oh, I don't have an experience, I'm not getting enough opportunity. There you go, you have your opportunity right in front of you and you didn't take it. That's all I have to say. The opportunities, when they come in front of you, do grab it, do not miss it. That's what I wanted to say. Like, endurance provided you an opportunity to showcase your talent and put that talent and show that skill, making sure that to put into your resume or into LinkedIn or your GitHub, wherever it matters. The recruiters will notice that. They will just click on that the site which you built today and see, okay, this, ultimately they're not going to see how many people actually worked and what code you have done, etc. If you genuinely worked on that code, you can speak about it. You may be a passive member on that team who was like coming and going and etc. But if I ask a question, if I'm an interviewer, I'm a hiring manager, and I'm looking at your resume and okay, endurance, you participated in endurance, huh? Okay, tell about what is endurance and what did you build there. If you worked on it without giving an extra, even if you are a person who struggled, even if you have struggled and because of you don't know the talent or you don't know the technology that much out there, but you've given your full effort to it, you have a thing to say. And I've seen several of those talent out there in last 2 days. They have worked, they didn't have sleep, they didn't have any kind of they just took little bit of rest. But are they the best programmer in the world? No, they haven't reached there, but they're given the full effort. Because of that reason, they can clearly say it, that I have been gained experience of it. And I can vouch for it. That's one of those things which I can tell. This thing's world sees it. The next time when we have a program like endurance or any other hackathon, I'm not even saying that it's an endurance, or any other hackathons, if you genuinely put an effort to do it, go grab it, do it, and build that experience out there. And now the next important thing is that I see one of the posts here that do we need to have a GitHub profile? Absolutely, you need to have a GitHub profile if you haven't been able to work in any companies. Build small projects, maybe asset projects. Sometimes, you know what, the reason you may not have a GitHub projects is because of the reason you never worked with the like you might have worked with a team. It's not absolutely necessary to have a GitHub profile. If it's there, that's great. Like some people in Archies may not even have a proper GitHub profile because they're not doing any commits day to day, because they're actually working in a different repository, not even GitHub, maybe some other tools like Bitbucket. Okay, so what are we going to do? They're going to publish? No, but for that purpose, there might be experiences you can put. Like I worked on Endurance website. I worked on other project there. I worked on this project there. Okay, can you please explain those projects? Which part of that project were you responsible for? At that point of time, if you know that, you can explain it. Otherwise, you don't. Simply you don't. And excelling that, how to answer it. Excelling that, how to answer it comes from the experience. It's all comes from the experience. So it is not a magic formula. There is no magic formula. One day you come and say everything you want to. No, there's no way. You have to keep hustling. You have to keep hustling every single day. That's the only way around it. Now, coding interviews. Like coding interviews are really a thing in Silicon Valley or in a startup space where big companies, like for example, even the interviews are so different from different companies to companies. For example, giant companies like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, or any of the Uber or Airbnb or any kind of tech companies, all of these tech companies are really difficult to crack in because they are getting a lot of people who try to get the job. A lot of people try to get a job. Now, how they can eliminate from good from bad? Does that mean that the people who get eliminated are bad or not? No, absolutely no. Absolutely no. But there need to be some kind of a vetting process which allows them to make sure that, okay, they know at least the standards which we use. Does that mean that every single company on earth uses the coding interview? No. No. But if you are definitely looking for high-paying jobs or in this big tech companies, you really need to look onto a website known as LeetCode, which is one of the biggest and the largest leading online coding exercises to solve data structures and algorithms, etc. If you're coming from a CS background, you probably might have learned data structures and algorithms, etc. And if you are not coming from a person who are from a computer science background, it will be super difficult to start learning. It will be super difficult, I can tell you that. But does that mean that you are bad? No, absolutely no. You don't need to know every single thing about binary search trees and etc. to get a job, to be honest, But now where you are looking for a job does matter. That's where cracking the coding interview definitely comes into picture. Keep looking at a job. What's the job description? Which company you're looking for? What's the interview patterns, etc. And if you are a person who is aiming for Google, then you definitely need to know about all these things like data structures and all the high like binary search trees and etc. And that has to be done, not just solving a problem, that has to be done quickly as well, with a time constraint associated with it, because that's another thing. You are allowed to do within 20 minutes, maybe give or take, to solve a problem which is super difficult. The added time of that 20 minutes when it is going tick tock, making you more feeling like, oh, I can't complete it. That makes you more worried, and that makes you not able to complete. Practicing is the only way around it to solve that. And that's where the LeetCode comes into the picture. And there are similar websites. HackerRank is there. There are so many websites out there. Please reach out to us with all things which you want to say. We can help you out to tell you. There are so many websites out there to practice those things. Okay. So if you are looking for an engineering job in this tech companies, make sure that what's their interview pattern, and if they have a coding interview, do practice it. That's it. There is no other way. You have to struggle. You have to struggle very hard. There's no other way around it. Now the next thing is that like having a communication skills in order to make sure that you are able to speak when they are asking questions. For example, you may not get a lot of architectural questions if you are applying for a junior developer position. You may not get it because you don't have that experience at all. So the interviewer knows that it's a waste of time. Otherwise, the interviewer does not just wasting their time. The interviewer knows that you may not have the complete expertise of building a distributed application which consists of a million users, how it's going to be. They may not know it. Okay. So simply, if that's the expectation of an interviewer, that's not your job looking for. So if you are a person who is looking forward to have a job which consists of all this complexity, that's where you need to have that experience comes from. You really need to have that experience come from. So putting every single day, if you are a person who is just saying that, hey, you know, I want to switch to software engineering, oh, I want to upskill my technologies. There is no easy way. There is no easy way. You know, you need to break that comfort zone. For that, you have to struggle. For that, you have to struggle very hard. And every single day, probably until you achieve that goal, because it's all about destroying your comfort zone and getting into a new one. So the other most important thing, resume, cracking the coding with the leak code and other preparations and stuff like that. Mock interviews, very important. Mock interviews. That's another areas which you need to really put an effort into, because the reason is you're going to a meeting, you're going to have an interview. The person who you might not know about, and this person is trying to judge based on their analysis of their expectation, and you're trying to answer based on their viewpoint. How are you going to get judged? You know, if you don't have a proper speaking skills, etc. So for the first time, if you're going there, even if you're good at, you may not be able to really perform very good, but because the reason is that you're not prepared for the questions, and then this tension is there, you're getting sweating, and then finally, like, you know, your language, if you're coming from a country like Turkey or India, and the added barrier of your language makes you feel like you are not worthy of even attending that interview. So how are you going to overcome that situation? How are you going to overcome that situation? So it definitely helps by giving mock interviews. The way how to overcome those situations is that if you are ready for applying for jobs, make sure that you have enough mock interviews, 1 or 2, or maybe even find a partner of similar way. They are also trying to get a job, have questions, or try to get other people who are industry-wise. They're gonna ask questions related with that position. That's where even RT's kind of focuses on. Okay, we try to conduct mock interviews in such a way that you are prepared for it. You're prepared for it in such a way that even if you screw up in that mock interview, you're not going to lose a chance, right? There is nothing wrong in losing a chance in a mock interview. At least you get a feedback that such a way that, you know, the areas of improvement which you can improve in the next couple of days or something. That small things does definitely matter when it comes to getting that line which you need to overcome. So you need to find in a way where when you are confident enough to say that, oh, you know what, I know what exactly I need to perform. At that point of time, I am ready to have a mock interview. Be guts to say that I am ready for a mock interview. Because I can bet you one thing, the first interview is going to be a flop. I can bet you that. Because you are not going to get better at that one. But when during that process, you will learn a lot of things. During that process, you will definitely learn a lot of things to help you out yourself. So have a good amount of mock interviews done to build your the confidence in terms of taking questions. And the other thing is that never give up. Rejections are always there. You know, rejecting from the first interview doesn't mean that you are not good. No, like again, going back to yesterday's session about Yuquan, he was first rejected from Google like years ago, and then later down the line, they got called back. Hey, do you want to have another interview? And then he got like worked in Google for the last few years. So it definitely is that, like, even if you're rejected, do not lose the confidence that you can get back to the same company which you look forward, but make sure that the interview has been done very professionally. You know, you part ways in your interview very professionally, asking the questions to the right people, like, you know, asking the questions to the interviewer. For example, like, you will have several interview sections, one with an HR, one would be a screening interview, one with the hiring manager, one with your team, maybe another panel interview, and then finally to your offer. The interview process may be like a 4 or 5 interviews, okay? Not just one, it may be 4 or 5. So everything matters in that interview sections. So making sure that, like, you are not really a person who is kind of rude towards your other person, that you need to make sure that you keep your what do you call it, your character intact. Be humble enough to say that, like, if you don't know, you don't know, that's it. You know, don't try to be over smart. If you don't know, you don't know. Being humble most of the time, if you're a person, at least my sake, if I am trying to hire a person, I'm looking forward to work with me. It's not about I'm looking forward to grill you, okay? Is this person is able to work with me in a long run or not? That's what we are trying to achieve from the interviews. But coming with, you know, I don't have any aspiration. One time, I think few months ago, we are trying to hire a person. I asked a question like, you know, are you able to work alone if you are given a task? Well, the answer which was replied was so funny. No, you know, if nobody asking me anything to do, I don't do anything. I just chill. That was the answer which was given in an interview. How in the world you give that answer? Don't be stupid to give those kind of answers. Try to make sure that, say, whenever you are saying things, and do you think that at any point of time I'm going to go back to that candidate? No, I don't think so. Even if that person changed, that kind of things in your mind would be there. Maybe not. So when you answer something, make sure that it is kind of not rude. At the same time, it's kind of not you know, stupid as well. So the people who are trying to judge you is basically whether this person is able to do that particular job which they are applying. That's all about it. So it's really important to maintain that composure of how good you are. So the next step is, like, you know, when the interview is done, and now the part where you comes to you probably may sense that this interview might have done good or may not done good. Then there comes the part where, like, you know, the negotiations, etc., and all those stuff. But one thing which I want to say to you, it's not just always about the money. It's not just always about the money. You know, financial thing is one aspect of your career. Yeah, I agree that, like, financial stuff has to be one aspect of your career. But if you are a person who is going to step into, like, a role where you don't have any experience or you don't have much things, try to learn a lot of things from your mentors, because at that time you gain experience and that will help you to get the money in the later down the line. So don't focus too much on the remuneration, too much. Focus on the part where you can get, like, you know, where you can thrive. When you go, there is a famous very famous quote. I mean, I really like few aspiring leaders in the world. When you are early down the age, make sure that you go to a small companies, because then you will learn a lot of things. That doesn't mean that, hey, just give up your dream of you are a good, you are really nice, you are really able to get into Google. And I'm not going to go to Google because Thoufeeque said that you need to go to a small company. No, that's not what I meant. If you really are a person who can crack Google, go for it. Absolutely go for it. But do not try to chase only for big companies. There are small companies out there which you probably can learn a lot of things in the early down the age of your career. That will bring a lot of experience for you. So that does matters a lot. And most of the time, these companies even don't have a proper interview process as well. Like, for example, they may not even having cracking the code or etc. or whiteboard exams or something like that. They look upon your character, how this person is doing good. And that's where hackathons like Endurance comes into picture. Because when you have an hackathon, that's one of those things which I have been advocate for, trying to be the interviews also, just like have been telling about the institutional educations of how they are outdated and the way of the degree certificates, etc., that you might have bored by now by hearing that same thing. But also, there's one more area which is kind of outdated, which is the overall interview structure. I cannot really judge a person with half an hour of asking questions. Really, I cannot. And most of the time, I need more time to see whether this person can actually work or not. And one way to see it is actually hackathons. In the last 2 days, there were several candidates actually registered. Some of them showed up. In some of them, there were several of them have been able to thrive to go through work, like, try to make it happen. And some of them, due to personal reasons or not, they kind of not able to contribute much. But there are few set of people in the last 2 days have been able to do it. And those people have been proven that they are able to work with collaboratively with people. And then they keep trying and trying and trying and without giving up. And those people are well worthy, I can tell you, even if they're not ready today, if they continue the same hard work, I'm pretty sure that they are worthy to get hired in good jobs sooner than later. So do not lose those opportunities at all. Please do not lose those opportunities. And making sure that the communication wise, you are open to the team. Because all the sessions before us, mostly related with few things. And because the reason is, that is how in the tech industry works. If you don't know how it works, then we are telling you, communication is a huge key to success. If you don't know how to communicate, you are, so even though you are really talented with your technologies and etc. and stuff like that, if you're not a person who kind of communicate better, you will not work in that company or an organization for a very long time. You will be kicked off very soon. So communication is a very key. And also another thing is that do not try to defend yourself always. If somebody is giving you feedback, please listen to it. Be a good listener. Because listening skills are really, really important in this industry. And if you are not a listener, and if you are keeping yourself defensive always about what you have been doing, even if it is wrong, then sooner than later, you're going to kick off. So make sure that have good listening skills and take the feedback, even if it is very bad one or not. You need to keep Keep writing down those things. Why the other person even try to spend time with you? Why does the other person try to spend time with you to improve your skills? Why they are doing that? It's because they, one way or another, they want you to improve it. And if you can't even justify the fact that you just keep defending yourself, unfortunately, that will not work out. So please be a good listener and please be a good communicator. Both is important. Communicator does mean that, like, you have to always chat, you have to always speak. No, that's not what we want. Communicator means that making sure that if somebody is there struggling, seeing that struggle and able to help the other person immediately without even telling. Please do that. Please be that person. My teammate is struggling. I should help them. Ask the question, hey, do you want me any help? Because this is kind of the things when after you're getting a job, which makes you keep the job. Like I said, I earlier said, it's not just about cracking an interview. It's also about how to keep your job as well. So if you want to keep your job, please be a good communicator. And keep doing the small projects. So more and more projects you do, the things which you learn from that experience will carry it over to the next time. The first time when you did a project, you may face some issues and you don't know how to do it. You're a senior member of your team or somebody might have helped you. Great. Go there and check it out, what they helped you. Do not be that person. You know what? I'm going to seek a help. Magically, the senior person comes and fixed it. Great. Thank you so much for helping me and go to the another task. No. Go there and check it out. What they helped. It can be if it's in a Jira, if it's in a GitHub or a Bitbucket. You might have the commits or you might have the pull request. Go there and seek what exactly you have done, the senior developer done, and learn from that. And the next time when they do it, you know what exactly you need to do. So, and that you need to keep it in your mind. Next time when something happens again, do not try to do the same thing. Like, you know that what exactly you need to apply there. That's really important. I have been worked in several big and small applications. And I have screwed up in terms of applications also. I have screwed up in that applications. The one thing which I can tell you is that whenever I am having an issues in terms of like a problem happen, I try to take notes of that issue. And the next time when it comes in a similar structure, I exactly know how to fix it. I exactly know how to fix that issue too. So making sure that the repeated stuff are there, like you can fix the issue faster. So those things help you to get, like, in terms of getting an experience. And the other things which I mentioned, keep practicing the like, if you are looking for big companies and all, keep practicing the lead code or the other platforms which I mentioned. Try to learn some architecture. Try to learn some architecture such as like microservice architecture, or like what exactly is a microservice architecture, design patterns, how does a design pattern works. All those things, if you are an engineer, definitely you need to know those things. When you say those things, you know what exactly that means. I can sure guarantee you that in one way or another, you want to crack that interview. Even if not the first time, within the next 5 interviews, you will be able to get accepted. If you are very much dedicated to that. So in my closing notes today with the endurance as well, I would like to thank several people who have been worked tirelessly the last few days to make this thing happen. And I would like to thank few, our few organizations and institutions, like for example, Arincom. I would like to thank Arincom, which is our incubation center where we are in Turkey. They have been helping us a lot in terms of providing us a space as an office and providing us necessary information about how to build a better company in terms of running the business and mentoring sessions, etc. They reached out to several other tech companies in order to make sure that they can be part of Endurance. Some of them responded it. Like for example, like those companies are also looking for new talents, and basically whoever comes out of the Endurance, they might be able to look for them to get hired, etc. Those things that are happening. So I really appreciate a few companies like example like Arincom and other subsidiaries and etc. And thanks to all the sponsors in terms of in one way or another helping us out. Thanks to my team in general, they have been working very hard for the last few weeks. Though it is a small event, but we put a lot of effort to put this thing to happen. And we genuinely want to, the next time when we have an event like this, we really want to make sure that the people who attended here, please do spread the word and encourage that people to be a part of it, an active participant of it. And so that the next time around, we'll have much more speakers, like we can bring in more industry leaders and have this experience, building experience in terms of as a developer or as an engineer, as a DevOps engineer. We had people from joining from different continents, actually, in Australia and Africa and Asia and etc. And then several things have been done in that. So do spread the word in terms of in the next event, and we really appreciate all your support, and the biggest thanks to the team, my team who has done like for example the YouTube streaming or project managing or making the website up. If you go to endurance.host, you probably check it out, and that has been done by the trainees of Archie's itself. And those things are really does matters a lot for personally me. And the next time around, whenever we are going to have an event, we can make it better. I know we can make it better, and this is our pilot hackathon which we are planning to do, and we can guarantee you that the next time around you will get a better experience and much bigger experience. And with that being said, that our event is not end yet. We have still our team is still going through. I want to give a glimpse of the things which they have done till now. So give me 1 second, really quick. Let me try to show you in the last 2 days, within the last 2 days, what they have been doing and where they are at it. We were having 4 teams, and in that 4 teams, they were given projects to build small applications, and still they are still doing it. So it's not like they have finished. So some of them still in constructions, but in a one moment, I would do that. Give me 1 second. That's not the one which I want. Okay, that's 1, 2, and let's go back to the next one. Okay, and the last one, so I will share in a minute. Okay, so we had 4 teams working in Endurance in terms of how to build this. So this is the end product. I mean, we still have like half a day to go. So let me share the screen. Give me a second, and that. Let me. Okay, so sharing the screen. I hope you guys can see my screen. Let me pull into this view. It's much better. Okay, that's bad. That's not what I want. Okay, so here you go. The first website was a hotel or apartment rental. So this was done from scratch. This entire thing was done from scratch from one of the team. And oh wow, they have done up till the model, etc. So when I click here, when what's happening and all those stuff, that's great. So this is the first thing we did in modern framework using React.js, and they have worked for the last couple of days and able to get up to here. Great, good job, guys. The second project was a movie an IMDb kind of a website. They are still in construction, so they have done up to here. So there's still a lot to go in this. The third one is a car rental website. So you can see here things being done beautifully. Good job, guys. Like, you know, they have done, let me see. So, oh, there's the search is done, and the like, great. I mean, all these things has been done just in the matter of last 1.5 days. So I am extremely happy to see this is getting almost completed, a rich website which is very fast and sleek, and that's been all done in the last 1.5 days. The last one is again an apartment rental. It's still, again, you can see it's still in construction, so it's keep building it. So clearly you can see 3 website has been done, and 2, especially this one, is definitely almost near completion, or at least the end of it. So good job, guys. Well done. I really appreciate it in terms of how things have been done. So with that being said, that I would like to have closing notes, and I wish you all the best, and looking forward to see you guys next time. And have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much, guys.